Hi, I'm making this video for any girls who are on their way to MEPS that may have any questions. I know before I left for MEPS I had a lot of questions and I had a lot of people I can ask, but mainly they were all guys, so they couldn't really give me the girls' perspective for MEPS. I had a lot of people tell me that MEPS is long and boring and whatnot, and so I wasn't looking forward to MEPS whatsoever, but I actually enjoyed MEPS a lot. I left on a Sunday, Monday. I attended the LA MEPS here in California. So if you're from a different state, I can't speak for the other MEPS stations, but it's an idea of what you can expect. I left that Sunday morning around 11. I took a shuttle down because I live more than an hour and a half away. So the Air Force paid for my traveling to MEPS. I then got to the hotel. It was 4 Points, right outside of LAX. It was about 10 minutes away from MEPS. When we got there, we were escorted to some type of assembly room where they went over rules of the hotel, what to expect, when our wake-up call was, the hours of lunch or dinner, the hours of breakfast the next day, and they gave you the key to your hotel room in this assembly room. The way that happens is they have a desk set up for each branch, and you will go to your branch of service, tell them your last name, and they will hand you the paper. During the speech of the rules, they will also have a piece of paper going around. This is for check-in pretty much. You will state or list your first and last name with your recruiter's name and your branch of service, and then you can go to the room. Most of you guys will have a roommate, and it's just a given. You will have a roommate unless there's an odd number of girls for some reason. You may get lucky and not have a roommate, but I thought I was lucky and wouldn't get a roommate, but I got the best roommate. She was kind of crazy and annoying. But anyways, aside from that, you will wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I recommend that you wake up about an hour earlier than that. Crazy, but it helps. You will be one of the first people in line for breakfast. Make sure you have the key to your hotel room, and make sure you have your belongings when you leave that hotel room. That key is for your purchase of breakfast the next morning. Dinner and breakfast are buffet style. You choose what you want to eat. And for dinner, I can't recall what we had. We had some type of pasta type of ordeal. And then for breakfast, we had anything you can think of pretty much. Don't eat the eggs because it will give you a lot of protein in your urine. And if you were for the Air Force, a lot of people told me to clean your ears really well before you go to MEPS. You will then notice that when they tell you to get up and get ready to board the shuttle to get to MEPS, there's still a line of people that have not eaten their breakfast yet. Those are the people that woke up at 3:30 opposed to 2:30. You want to be one of the first people in and out. You will take the shuttle. It's about a 10-minute drive from LAX to MEPS, or near LAX to MEPS. When you get there, there's going to be a security guard. He sounds scary. He looks big. He's not that great. He's pretty funny if he's in a good mood. Hopefully you catch him on a good day. He will ask you to separate yourself between shippers and medical exams. You are on a medical exam if you have not gotten your ship date. They will then have you, amongst your groups, make separate lines. Be one of the first people in line to get into the MEPS building. That way you get through security first. Make sure you have your social security card, your driver's license, and your manila folder that your recruiter gave you. You're going to need that. When you get into the MEPS after your security check-in, there's going to be a uniformed Army guy that will tell you to go put your belongings into the cubby room. Your belongings will be locked up in there all day long. Make sure you don't keep your manila folder in there though, because you're going to need that. Like I left mine in there like an idiot. And then they will have you go into the briefing room. The briefing room is to go over rules of MEPS, what to expect, what they expect out of you, what happens if you lie to the military in order to enlist. And then after your briefings, you will then check in with the front desk with your social security card, your manila folder. They'll tell you what paper they need from that manila folder, and your ID, and then they will scan your finger. This is the easier way to check in with them later on that day. After that, you will go to your counselor's office. They will then give you a sticker with your name on it, and the branch of service, they will give you a separate sticker with about 5 boxes. Each box needs to be signed or initialed on the medical floor. And They will keep a manila folder but give you the papers that you need throughout the day, which was your medical examination paper. After that, they will send you upstairs to your medical examination paper or medical examination room. It will have arrows directing you where to go. It's really self-explanatory. You will check in with the front desk, and then they will point you to the waiting room. It's not really a room. It's where you're going to get your blood pressure taken. And once you're done with that, the doctor that takes your blood pressure will write it on your medical examination paper. Then you will go to get your medical briefing. After your medical briefing, which takes forever, they ask you the same exact questions that your recruiter asked you prior to going to MEPS. After that, your medical briefing is done and over with, and you can go about and get those boxes on that sticker initials. Each one represents a station. We have the vision station, the hearing station, where you get your blood drawn, your urine test, and your physical. I did the urine test first, and that was a big mistake because I didn't drink enough water. So if you drink a lot of water and you have to pee right after your medical briefing, I suggest that you go do your urine test. But if you can't pee, I suggest you wait till the very last minute to do it. I got yelled at because I couldn't pee. I got threatened that I would have to come back a different time, but the lady ultimately let me finish throughout the day. I went and got my vision test. With your vision test, if you are for the Air Force, you will have a separate vision test as well called the depth perception test. It's just basically asking what circle is bigger. They all look the same, but it's just as if you were flying the airplane, if you're flying over buildings, which one's tallest. It doesn't really matter if you don't want a pilot's job, but it also disqualifies you for some other jobs. So to me, I failed it because all the circles look the same, so I obviously didn't qualify for the job, so I needed to pass for that. And then you will read a children's book out loud, about 2 pages, I believe it was, and then you will take a hearing test. It's like this little box that like 6 people go into. You wear the headphones, and you click the button every single time you hear a faint tone or a loud tone. And every time you're done with each station, that doctor is going to initial on that sticker that you're wearing. And then you will go into the women's medical examination room. This is where you will also take your urine test, but you will also have a one-on-one with the doctor twice, one clothed, one naked. The first one comes to clothed. She will ask you random questions, but they're pretty much the same questions that your recruiter had asked you prior to going to MEPS. She then will ask you if you have any like body tattoos or birthmarks. I have a birthmark on my hip, so I had to take my jeans off kind of so she can see it, and she described it on my medical examination paper, signed it off, and then I went and I took my urine test after holding my pee for almost 2 hours from drinking so much water. And they will have you pour some of your urine into a smaller cup so they can do a pregnancy test, and then the rest of the urine will go to the guy at the window where the toilets are. Let me let you know about the toilets. There are no doors at all. So when I first went to go take my urine test, there was about 7 girls and 2 toilets. And I was the second person in line, so I took the second toilet, which was the most visible to everybody, and I really didn't have to pee, but I knew if I could pee. But with 7 girls standing in front of me, waiting for me to pee, I couldn't pee. Eventually, when I could pee, I was the only girl that was left to take my urine test, so it was just myself and the doctor, so it was fine. I peed a lot. And then after that, if there's about 6 or 10 girls, I think the number they look for to start the physical examination, they will tell you to get into your bra and underwear. Wear regular underwear. Don't wear anything that shows too much. Don't wear a thong. Don't wear booty shorts. Wear just regular underwear and a sports bra, something with a lot of coverage, because you will be around complete strangers. You don't want them to see your goods. You're going to be like, oh my god, she's looking at my tits. But anyways, this is when they will have you do this with your fingers. You're going to be doing this for like a minute. They make sure that you can touch every single finger without looking, by the way. And then they make you stand on one foot, then the other foot to check your balance, and then you will do the duck walk. Make sure you YouTube what the duck walk is, because I can't describe it. It's pretty simple though. And then they will take your height, and your weight, and then you will get naked. And they give you like a little paper rope. It doesn't cover much, but this is for when you go into the room with the 2 doctors for your examination. They will have you lay down in this room, and there's no other girls in there besides the doctors, so it's not so bad. And then they will pat you down on your breast, make sure you don't have any lumps, they'll check your stomach, and then they'll have you spread open your legs and spread open your vaginal area so they can check you. It takes like 2 seconds. And then you will flip over, bend over, spread your cheeks, 2 seconds. I was really worried about this, I don't know why. It took a whole 5 seconds for them to look at my goods. And then they will sign some papers, and they will tell you to go see the doctor. The doctor is where their rooms are right next to where you get your blood pressure taken earlier that day. And then he will then tell you if you qualify or disqualify. You will obviously want to be qualified. And then after that, you will check out at the front desk, and then you will go down to your counselors, and you will give them the papers to show that you're qualified. After I was done with my medical examination, it was now lunchtime, so I didn't do it right away. I went to lunch. Lunch is really good. We had Quiznos. And then after lunch was over, I went back to my counselors, and they told me that I was ready for phase 1. Phase 1 takes the longest and is the most aggravating. You wait outside of a room to wait in another line. It's hurry up and wait. And they scan every single finger, do an FBI background check, ask you questions, try to get cool with you, try to see if you lied your way into the military. Then they will ask you, in the case that you may die in the line of duty, who do you want to collect your life insurance? It may throw some of you guys off because it makes you realize what you're really signing up for, and that something like that may happen. So you're signing your life away pretty much. But don't let it throw you off. You're doing something great for this country, great for yourself. And then after you're done with phase 1, they will tell you to go tell your counselors you're ready for phase 2. Phase 2 is the swearing in part, the part that you've been waiting for all day long. You will tell your counselors you're ready for phase 2, and then you go up to the front desk, let them know that your counselor told you that you're ready for phase 2. You will scan your finger, that way you're on the list of people that are about to get sworn in, and you will wait on the intercom for them to tell you when they're having a swearing assembly. They will say, anybody who's ready for phase 2, we are having an assembly in such and such amount of minutes. It may take forever because it fills up really quickly because people are trying to swear in and get out, and the shippers come before you because they have a plane to catch before a certain time, so they have first priority over yours. And then you will go into that room that you first started in, the briefing room, and they will brief you on questions that the person that's about to swear you in may ask or will ask. They will tell you, again, if you have lied your way into the military, tell them now, or forever hold your peace type of ordeal, or you're going to get 4 years in prison and $50,000 ticket or something like that. Just don't lie to avoid that. And then after you're done with briefings, you will actually go over 3 acts in that briefing. You'll memorize those acts that day. I don't remember them, but I will get sworn in again. I'll remember those acts. And you'll learn to stand at attention in the swearing room. After you're sworn in, you go to see your counselor. They will give you a bunch of documents to sign, like sexual harassment, a whole bunch of other papers. And then they will give you a list of jobs you qualify for. But before they give you the list of jobs you qualify for, they will bring you into this hallway type of thing where a lifting bar is, and it will see how much you can lift, and this will just qualify you for a certain amount of jobs, disqualify you for some. And once you get that qualifying list, you're going to initial an extra job that you want to do in the Air Force. Again, this is just for the Air Force. I know the Army does it different. I can't speak for the other branches. But the Air Force, this is the way they do it. And you're initial to every single job that you may want to do in the Air Force, and that list that the ones that you initial to become your job list. That's the list that your recruiter will get. And so the Air Force, the recruiters get a job list every month. And those are jobs that the Air Force needs. And so your recruiter will get the job list from the headquarters and then your job list, and then be like, okay, well, there's no jobs this month for Amy from the list that she wanted. So she doesn't get a job this month. And then next month comes around and they're like, oh, we have personnel open, and Amy has on her job list that she wants personnel. So your recruiter will call you and be like, we have a job opening for personnel, do you want to take it? It leaves such and such date. And you're like, oh yeah, I want to take it. Or no, I don't really want to do that, I want to wait for something better to come along. My advice to you, since Air Force takes forever, but it's worth the wait, is take the first job you get that you know that you're going to be happy in. Like personnel wasn't my first pick, but it's something that I know that I'll be good at and something that I know that I'll be happy in, so I took it because I can always cross over to something else later on in life if I wanted to. And then after that, you're pretty much done with your paperwork, and then if you drove yourself to MEPS, which some people do, you will either go home, you check out with the front desk, but you will get your stuff in the cubbies before you do that. You need the officer to unlock the door. And then you'll check out the front desk, they'll take your like little sticker name tag thing, and then you're done. And then you become a DEP member of the United States Air Force, or whichever branch you choose. My whole ordeal is don't be nervous about it. It's not something to be nervous about. There's going to be people in bad moods, but whatever, they'll get over it. You'll get over it. I had a good time. I met a lot of people, and although I was really nervous about the physical part, I did pretty good. I'm pretty proud that I got qualified for the first time. They do look for things to disqualify you for, so just know that. But don't be nervous about it. If you know you're in good health and you know that you're fit for the military, don't let anything they say back you down from what you want to do. I want to wish everybody good luck with their MEPS processing. It's really fun. Let me know in the comments how your own MEPS experience went, if you've already done it, and let me know what you're nervous about as well, so I can kind of guide you on what not to be nervous about. The only thing I was nervous about was the whole vagina butthole ordeal. Other than that, I was fine. And that's pretty much it. Good luck to everybody.